I bet y'all, a bunch of y'all have been waiting for this, because Miss I Don't Like Fluffy Stuff is making a video about fluffy stuff. So let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Book Vibes. If you're new here, welcome to Book Vibes. This is the place where you read what you like, because if it vibes with you, that's what you do. And yes, as you see from the title, I am giving romance recommendations. Now, this is not any regular romance recommendations. This is specifically for my folks who are not interested in just reading fluffy romance, who are seinen and shonen, horror, or whatever else fans, and you're like, you know what, maybe I want to let a tidbit more romance into my life. This is for you. Now, anybody is welcome to see these suggestions. I think these series are great series anyways. So right next to me, I have 5 series that I want to talk to you guys about, and I have 2 runners up. Now, these runners up are a little unconventional, and I'm going to have timestamps below. So if you want to see the unconventional, just go ahead and skip ahead. Watch this in parts, but please give me a like or a subscribe and notification bells if you enjoyed this video. So let's get into it. First up, I have a shonen. Now, this series is one that made me cry, made my husband choke up, and Meet the Wee Family Dad actually really loves this series, and it is called A Silent Voice. This story is a story about a childhood bully who was bullying a young girl who is in the deaf community. Now, it's a very intense story. There's a lot of times where there's tears and there's a lot of, anger that's happening, but you end up finding out that there is a slowly budding love. It's dealing with real life issues. So it is something that you're not going to be focusing necessarily on a love the entire time. It is more of an internal growth, and it is something that I think everyone should at least read once. You can either get it in the box set, or you can get it in the big ginormous Kodansha version that they just pulled out. And I don't know if I'm going to get that because it's just ginormous. But A Silent Voice. And if you don't want to read it first, go ahead and watch the anime. The anime is fantastic. Next series that I have for you is an actual bona fide shoujo, but this is not your run-of-the-mill typical shoujo. This series deals with a lot of life issues. It deals with toxic relationships and the toxicity within. I feel like it's almost a parody to typical shoujo, and it is Hot Gimmick. Hot Gimmick is a hot mess. It is a Mori trash, and Meet the Weeb Mom's favorite series, one of her favorite series. I don't know if it's her all-time favorite, but there is so much going on in there, and a lot of people are triggered by this series because there are so many things that happen that are on toxic level 10,000. But if you want a lifetime movie in manga form, or Mori in manga form, this is the series for you. It deals with teen pregnancy, it deals with manipulation, it deals with virginity. There's a lot going on in this series. This is not your typical romance. So if you want something that has romance behind it, or there is some in there now, don't get me wrong, there is some romance in there, but there's a lot of twists and turns, and I think that's the part that I enjoyed the most. So the next one is a shoujo, and this one for me I think is going to be a little bit of a hard sell, because a lot of people do not like it because the first volume, it sucks. The first volume sucks really bad, but as you get deeper into the story, and I don't like being that person goes like, it gets better, but as you get deeper into the story, it gets better. That story is Fruits Basket. Okay, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Fruits Basket, it's everywhere, that looks so fluffy, and it's not. It's not. The romance element in this story is so digestible. I'm using that word a lot. If I use that word this whole video, please forgive me, but it is. It's not like, it's not stuffing it down your throat like it's like, oh, love, 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 love. It's not. It's there. The girl gets the guy, or the guy gets the girl, however you want to look at it. But there is so much psychological issues. There are so many. Get your life together. There are so many psychological issues that happen. This is, I don't want to say it's watered down, but it's more of a digestible version of what Inio Asano or Shuzo Oshimi puts out, because it deals with family issues, it deals with psychological issues, it deals with mental health, it deals with dark pasts, and it's very, you know, it's intense. There's a lot of moments where it's really like, oh my goodness, am I really reading this? But like, there is so much more to it than the covers. Like, these people on here look super fluffy, but the main girl right here is actually dealing with family issues, and her mom on the back is actually a little ex-gang member who had a, what they call her, a delinquent. She grew up in a really bad situation, so there's a lot of life elements. And then she moves in with this family who is having their own psychological mental issue problems, and their family is messed up and toxic and just jacked up. So I'm into psychology. I'm going to school for psychology, and this was so full of familial trauma. It is insane how much these people are going through and how much they push through. And yes, it could bring up some traumatic issues for some people. There are some times where I had moments where I had to stop reading. It's insane. So I know it sounds more like I'm trying to like promote this book, and I am. I love Fruits Basket because it is so much more. But there is digestible romance. Alright, the next series that I have is actually a josei, and one that Meet the Weeb Dad actually enjoys. I enjoy it myself as well, and that is Something's Wrong With Us. This is a food manga. This is a thriller manga. This is a murder mystery. This is, they got some shmurmy stuff in there. There's so much going on in this josei that the romance is there, but it's easy to ignore it. Like, it's not in your face. Yes, people are falling in love. Yes, they're doing crazy things for love. Yes, there's side stories of how everything started because of love, romance. But once again, counter, what is this, 15th time that I said it? It's digestible romance. It's not thrown in your face. So right now this has 8 volumes out. I highly recommend you check it out. Very good series, especially for folks like us. So the last series that I want to recommend from this group of recommendations is a seinen, and it is Sweat and Soap. Now, you guys should have already guessed this if you watch my YouTube channel or you follow me on Instagram. I absolutely love Sweat and Soap. It is a full-fledged, full-blown romance. However, it is a more realistic romance. It is two people who met at work. The guy was interested in her. He was weird, and she was like, oh, he's weird, that is creepy. And they fall in love, and you see their relationship bloom. Now, some people argue that it's unrealistic. It's not. It's more realistic than not. I should say it like that. It's more realistic than not. They grow together, they move in together, they go on regular dates, they try to hide it at first. It is not a middle schooler and an old man, or 2 middle schoolers or 2 high schoolers. It's not goofy. It's real. And so I think this will be something that, if you want to read every once in a while, this is something great to pick up. Not a binger. Like, I would not binge Sweat and Soap. Like, this is something I would pick up and go, you know what? I want to cleanse my mind of death and gore and evil and whatever else you're reading for that day. Berserk. I want to cleanse my mind. This is what you can pick up. This is a great, it's almost like a slice of life romance. So get into it. Try it out. At least 1 volume. If you want to read some romance, or you want romance in your collection, go for it. So the last 2 series that I want to show you are series that are not labeled as romance at all, but the driving force for the entire series is a romance, and that is Attack on Titan and Hell's Paradise. And you're probably like, what? Girl, what are you talking about? If you know anything about Attack on Titan, you know that Mikasa was in love with Eren. Like, we could see that, but it was never really vocally expressed. We're gonna stop there because I don't want to give you any spoilers. But if you want to add a little bit of romance in your life, but stick to your guns and stick to what you love the best, it's in there. There are series with it in there. And also, Hell's Paradise has an entire plot around love. This is the wife of the main character, and his entire time he was focused on getting back to his wife, the one who changed him and softened his heart in order for him to be not as crazy as he could be. And she found the humanity in him, and he wasn't just a killer. So it was a beautiful thing. He always referred back to her, and his wife saved his life, so he wanted to get back to see her. He wanted to live to go and see her. So there is romance out there if you're really looking for it, if you want to look for it, or if you don't want to go in the store and pick up fruits basket and you go, you know what, I want some romance, but I don't want nobody to know, so I'm gonna get Hell's Paradise. Alright, so that is all that I have for you today. I hope that you guys enjoyed some of those recommendations. If you have any recommendations that are similar to that, or something that you would recommend to someone who's not really into romance, go ahead and put them down below. I'm interested to see what you're talking about, because I might have to pick it up myself. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. Peace.